we got a good story apparently, but not good for us because it's like, oh my god, like I love Greg Byrne. He's made some great hires as an athletic director, like bringing on NATO's, bringing on Kalen DeBoer. But I feel like he should stop talking. Honestly, I think the best thing he could do is just stop talking. Like seriously, I mean, complaining about non-con schedules when we lost to Vandy in Oklahoma. That no, just no. And now like suggesting forfeits as a way to fix field storming and court storming. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah. Uh, what do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, the thing is, he's kind of putting his foot in his mouth, per se. I mean, because like you said, Alabama fans that were complaining about the non-conference, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the non-conference is why we didn't make the playoffs. No, we didn't make the playoffs because we lost to two crappy teams in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? We've been through this. That's a done deal. But then with the field stormings, court stormings, whatever. You probably remember this, but I made a video about it with Jay Billis a long time ago on my channel, Only Talk Sports. And as you know, I'm not in favor of the banning of the court storm and the field storm. I'm not, because it's a part of the game. I mean, as people always say, if you don't like the court stormings, you don't like the field stormings, don't get beat, right? You know, don't get upset. You know, whether it's on the road game or whatever, you know, like in Alabama's case, or if it's, you know, you're at home and you win a big game and then you do it. If in that scenario, you have to be a good team, right? Like you have to be a program that expects to win, so you don't do that. It's kind of like, remember when Indiana beat Purdue in basketball a couple years ago and they were making fun of Indiana for doing the court storm? Like, oh, well, if Indiana's doing a court storming, it shows how far the program's fallen. Like, oh, they beat Purdue in their court storming. They would have never done that under Bobby Knight. Well, I don't know. It's just, appreciate you for pulling that up, Jackson. Definitely. That video was back almost a year ago.
Yep,
So,
February 25th, 2024. That's why it's like I had it muted. I'm like, we're talking about it. I'm like, I better make sure I got this video pulled up from Jeffrey where he talked about it.
I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm just, and I remember Jay Billis talking about that people needed to like not necessarily that they needed to, but like if to get rid of court stormings, like arrest people. Really? We're gonna do that? We're gonna arrest people for being excited their team won? I mean, because remember, it was last year. What was it? Filipowski. That's the correct player.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Filipowski, if I recall, he got his knee hurt or whatever. Like, oh well, this shows you it needs to be banned. I'm like, okay. Greg Byrne's not making Alabama look all that good right now. And that's kind of to your point of he probably needs to stop talking, because people don't really like Alabama for obvious reasons. We're a great program. And then you say stuff like this, it just makes you look weak and sad. So I don't agree with it, but for a lot of reasons. And definitely this video here really outlines that, but I don't agree with it. Appreciate the Godfather of the SEC. Became a YouTube member. Appreciate that, Godfather of the SEC.
There we go, man. We have a new member. Let's go. Congratulations, Godfather of the SEC. And let's take a look at what tier membership you got, shall we? Yep. Welcome to Crimson Faithful. There you go, man. You're in Crimson Faithful. Nice.
I do have to ask you, though, Jackson, about the AD's statements. And this is something that I think it's becoming increasingly more difficult to decipher the difference between the two. But with his statements, do you think he actually believes those statements, or do you think that he feels pressured to say those statements?
I think maybe it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is.
Because, I mean, some people legitimately believe the things that they say. And if you do, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's free speech in our country. Oh. But I think I mentioned this in my video with Jay Billis, but I don't feel that Jay Billis really believed what he like he didn't want to say it. Like, if you saw it, right? Like when I was watching the clip, last year when he was talking about it after that Duke Wake Forest game. The way he was talking, it felt like he just didn't want to say it, but he did anyway, because it's like, oh, this is what, who he works for wants him to say. I don't know. I don't like that. I want to believe that when somebody says something that they personally believe it, even if I don't agree with it. Like, I don't have to agree with it at all, but like, if you believe that and that's your opinion, then whatever, that's fine. But a lot of times I don't feel like a lot of these people really do believe what they're saying. So hopefully Greg Burns does believe what he's saying. But because, I mean, even though I don't agree with it, at least he's being honest within himself. But if he's not, and he's being, feels pressure to say it, I don't like that. I've never been a fan of that. But I will probably never know on that front.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something we're gonna have to wait and see about, is what's gonna happen going from there. It's like, I really hope that doesn't happen, but I know that eventually there's going to be enough of the blue bloods having a hissy fit about court storming and field storm, which, I mean,
like I said, I mean, if you don't like it, don't get beat. I mean, that's a simple answer. I mean, if you don't want an underdog team to field storm or court storm on you, then don't lose to them. Then they're not going to do it. I mean, it's as simple as that. I know it's a little bit, so I guess, like, what's the word? I am being sarcastic, facetious. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm being facetious by saying that, but I do mean it though. Like if you don't like it, don't lose.
yeah.
Am I Jackson's IT guy? Am I missing something? Stump Jack.
Yeah, it's been a
It's
minute.
not a
Like,
joke
this has been happening the last 2 weeks. You were out last week.
How did this originate?
Yeah, my IT guy's been coming in, giving us some questions. So it's like it's been pretty fun. Like 2 weeks ago, got some questions on Alabama. This week, last week we got Auburn questions.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna let us figure it out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Even got Austin playing along.
Oh man. But my final note on Greg Burns, he's a great athletic director, makes humongous hires, but I don't think he should be. I think he needs to really think about what he says, and don't go by emotion.
Yeah.
Don't go by how you feel. Just go with what's logical.
What do you dislike his statements over the field stormings more, or the non-conference?
That's a good question. That is a good question. Oh, I'm gonna have to go with the non-conference at the
Honestly,
moment.
I almost agree. The field storming bugs me, but I think the non-conference is worse, because that really is. It's just dumb. Honestly, I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, no. I'm sorry, Greg Burns. I just can't. I can't agree, man. I can't agree. But
Agreed.
agree to disagree, right?